The hydrogen fuel cell was invented by William Robert Grove, a Welsh judge, inventor, and physicist. He mixed together hydrogen and oxygen in the presence of an electrolyte, which produced electricity and water. The invention was later labeled as a fuel cell, but at the time of its conception produced too little electricity to be useful. Hydrogen is a neutral element with a lot of chemical energy. When ignited, it reacts with the oxygen in the air and releases its energy by the means of an explosion. While this is dangerous, it can also be used safely by harvesting their energy through a hydrogen fuel cell. What is a hydrogen fuel cell and how does it work? The left side of a hydrogen fuel cell has an anode, and the right side has a cathode. These are both hollow compartments where gas can be put. Hydrogen goes in the anode and oxygen goes in the cathode. Between these two compartments is a catalyst and electrolyte. The hydrogen wants to get with the oxygen to react with it, but cannot because of the electrolyte. Only protons can get to the electrolyte. And this is where the cathode comes in. The cathode separates the electrons from the protons, letting them pass to the electrolyte, but there is still a problem. The hydrogen isn't hydrogen anymore, they are only protons. For it to react, the electrons must be transported to the cathode. They achieve this by a wire that connects from the catalyst to the cathode. While moving these electrons, it causes electricity, as electricity is created by the movement of electrons. The electrons meet up with the protons and react with the oxygen, forming water which can leave the system. We now have an electric current running through the wire, able to be used to power a light bulb or motor or whatever device you may want.
The benefits of hydrogen fuel cells are: it reduces greenhouse gas, it's cleaner and more efficient than traditional combustion-based engines and power plants, it can be used in mobile applications and power packs, and it is also extremely low waste, with the only excess emissions being water. The only waste from the hydrogen fuel cell is water. There's no CO2 and no toxic gases. But the drawbacks are: hydrogen fuel cells get really hot while operating and damage themselves if they're not cooled properly. It's also extremely flammable, which means it has a chance to explode while in use. As well as this is also very expensive, as it is made out of platinum, a very expensive metal.
Most hydrogen fuel cells used today are primarily used as fuels for cars, overpowering homes and cities. A large portion of hydrogen fuel cells are actually used by NASA as an alternative fuel source for ships and shuttles sent into space. They are, however, using smaller versions of hydrogen fuel cells as batteries to power battery-operated objects such as lamps or your typical battery pack to recharge your phone, as well as portable devices that you may not even know were powered by hydrogen fuel cells, such as watches. Currently, there are no cars manufactured in Texas that use hydrogen fuel cells, as well as no fuel stations in Texas, with most hydrogen fuel cell stations located in Canada, California, Georgia, and Washington. Although Texas uses fuel cells to power small things such as lamps, streetlights, and other battery-powered devices, they aren't often used, with most alternative energy sources being wind, solar, and tidal. Despite all of this, there are current researches going on to improve and make more efficient hydrogen fuel cells, although they would primarily only be used as alternative fuels for vehicles or small devices. Although this invention is clever, with its current status of improvement, it is not very impactful on the climate crisis that is currently going on right now. This isn't to say hydrogen fuel cells aren't useful. They create an incredible template for more efficient and waste-reducing renewable fuel sources in the late future that would be revolutionized when combined with the other renewable fuel sources already being improved upon every day, that when all used in unison, have the opportunity to turn around climate change.